Hi friends, let us start from the question number 40 of ISRO exam 2020 mechanical paper set A. So our question number 40 is, the piston of an engine moves with simple harmonic motion. The crank rotates at 120 rpm with a stroke of 2 meters. The velocity of the piston when it is at a distance of 0.8 meter from the center is. So we will discuss it with the piston cylinder arrangement diagram. Suppose this is our piston cylinder arrangement, and here the piston has moved a distance of 0.8 meter from the center. So if I will mark this distance as x from the inner dead center, and the piston crankshaft is rotating like this. So if it has moved a distance x, then if I will take the projection of this point, this has also moved a distance of x. So this total distance is r. So x plus this projection r cos theta, this distance, is equal to r. So x is equal to r minus r cos theta. So I have been given this has moved a distance of 0.8. So x will be 0.2 1 minus 1 cos theta. So cos theta is equal to 0.8 or 4 by 5. Okay. Then I can write V is equal to dx by dt. So V will be, if I will differentiate this equation, then it will become omega r sine theta. So sine theta we can find out from here. It is 3 by 5 into r1, and omega we have been given. So omega is a it is given omega we can write as 2 pi into n divided by 60 into 3 by 5. So n is given 120 rpm. So this will be 4 pi into 3 by 5. So it is 2.4 pi meter per second. So the velocity of the piston is 2.4 pi. So the correct answer is B. Question number 41. If a block slides outward on a link at a uniform rate of 30 meter per second, while the link is rotating at a constant angular velocity of 50 radian per second counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means anti-clockwise. The Coriolis component of acceleration is. So it is like this. Here is our slider. So here is omega is in this direction. If the block slides outward, so block is moving outward. So my Coriolis component will be AC is equal to 2 omega V. 2 into block slides outward at a rate of, so V is 30 and angular velocity is 50. So the correct answer is 3000 meter per second square, because the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. And if I ask the direction of Coriolis component of acceleration is, I will rotate the velocity vector in the direction of angular velocity. So this is the angular Coriolis component of acceleration direction. In a screw jack, question number 42, in a screw jack of lead angle alpha, the effort required to lift the load W is given by. So its formula is P is equal to W into tan into alpha plus phi. When the axis of the first and last gear are coaxial, then the gear train is known as, so it is something like this. This is our first gear mounted on this one. Here it is our second gear. So what happen? These axes are coaxial, but not joined by a shaft. So this type of gear system is known as a reverted gear train. So the question number 44, a disc spinning on its axis at 20 radian per second will undergo precession at a when a torque of 100 Newton meter is applied about an axis normal to it. If the mass moment of inertia is 1 kg per meter square, then the angular velocity of the precession is. So this couple we know it is equal to I omega omega p. So this is given 100 is equal to 1, moment of inertia is 1, then omega is given 20, angular velocity of precession we have to find out, that is 5 radian per second. Which one of the following is an absorption type dynamometer? Question number 45. So absorption type dynamometer, there are three type of brake in this one. First is rope, then second is hydraulic dynamometer, then third is Prony type. So this is absorption type dynamometer. So the correct answer is A, Prony type Prony brake dynamometer. Which one of the following mechanism provides intermittent rotary motion? So there are two types of mechanism. One is Geneva and other one is Ratchet mechanism. So the correct answer is B. We are leaving this question related to calculus. The question number 55, two steel trusses XY and YZ supports a load of 200 Newton. The length of the truss is 1 meter. The force in the truss XY in Newton is. So we have to find the force in this truss. So my truss is in equilibrium about this point. So I can write F1. This is F2. I can apply Lami's theorem. F1 upon this is 120 degree, this is 120 degree, and this is 120 degree. So F1 upon sine of 120 is equal to F2 upon sine of 120 is equal to 120 200 upon sine of 120. So I have to find out this one F1. So F1 will be is equal to 200 Newton. The correct answer is B. Here I have applied Lami's theorem. A block weighing 100 Newton is resting on an inclined plane inclined with the horizontal as shown in the figure. So this is inclined at 45-degree angle. What horizontal force P is necessary to hold the body from the sliding down the plane is? Coefficient of friction can be taken as this one. So the body will try to slide down in this direction. So we have to find out P. So if I will draw the free body diagram, here this P is acting downward. So one is P will like this. So this is theta. Then the component is P sin theta and this is P cos theta. And this is P. So I will balance the forces about this point. This is W. So this is W sin theta, this is W cos theta. So if I will draw the free body diagram of this one, this is P and this is W sin theta, this is W cos theta. This angle is also theta. So this force in this direction is P sin theta, and here in this direction is P cos theta. One friction force will also come because the block is sliding down. It will act in the upward direction, that is mu into N. So here N we have to find out. This is our N. So forces in y direction should be 0. This is my y and here it is x. So N is equal to, the forces in y direction is P sin theta plus W sin theta. So W sin theta plus P sin theta. Here I am taking theta is, here this theta is 45 degree and this is also 45. So, and forces in f direction, fx direction should also be 0. So here it is W cos theta should be is equal to mu into N plus P cos theta. So if I will simplify, I will put N here in this equation, and if I will simplify, P is equal to W into sin theta minus mu cos theta upon cos theta plus mu sin theta. So theta you put 45 degree, mu you have been given 0.25, W you have been given 100 Newton. So if you will find out, P will be 60 Newton. So the next question is, the ratio of the maximum shear stress to the average shear stress in the rectangular beam is, so we know that tau max is equal to 3/2 of tau average. So this is equal to 1.5. So the correct answer is 3/2. A massless beam has a loading pattern shown in the figure. Find the bending moment at the midspan. So we have to find out the bending moment. This is the midspan. So at B point, I have to find out the bending moment. So the reaction here is R1 and here the reaction is R2. So the total load, so the total length is 1 meter. So the total load acting at the midspan is 4. If it is 2, then I will multiply it with 2, then total load will become 8. So if I will draw this diagram, R1, here the midspan is, it is 4, it is 0.5, then it is 0.5 here, this point is B, this point is R2. So R1 into 2. About this point I am writing bending moment is 0. So R1 into 2 is equal to 4 into 1.5. So R1 will come out to be 3 kilonewton, because it is in kilonewton. So here it is R1 is equal to 3. So if I will have to find out the bending moment, so the net bending moment about B is R1 into 1 minus 4 into 0.5. So 3 into 1 minus this is 2. So it is coming out to be 1 kilonewton. So the correct answer is A. Steel machine element at a critical section is in a biaxial stress with the two principal stresses being 300 and 300. Find the bond misses stresses in the member. तो जब भी हमें स्ट्रेसेस दी होती हैं तो ये स्ट्रेसेस क्या करती हैं, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट के अबाउट एक्ट करती हैं इन द होल बॉडी. We will find out the critical point. So here it is saying that two principal stresses are 300 and 300. So the von Mises stresses formula is sigma square is equal to sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus sigma 1 sigma 2. This is sigma permissible according to von Mises stresses formula. So if you will find out, it is 300 square plus 300 square minus 300 into 300. So the answer will be 300. Next question is 60. A machine component of 90 kg mass needs to be held in a position using 3 springs. The spring constant K1, K2, K3 are, this is K1 is 4, K2 is 4, K3 is 8. Find the natural frequency of the system. So when the spring will act in is in series, so the net equivalent of these two spring will be 1 upon K1 plus 1 upon K2. That will come out to be 2. So 2 and total these two K3 plus K equivalent will be in series. So net will be 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. So omega is equal to root of K by M. Since this is asking us natural frequency of the system, so omega n is equal to root of 10 divided by root of 90, that is root of 1 by 3. So 0.33 will be the answer. Question number 61. A cylindrical pressure vessel has diameter 200 mm and thickness 2 mm. Find the hoop and the axial stresses in the cylindrical vessel when it is subjected to an internal pressure of 5 megapascal. So sigma hoop we know it is PD upon 2T. That will be maximum in the cylinder. So 5 diameter of the cylinder is 200 upon 2 into thickness of the cylinder is 2 mm. So this will come out to be 250. And sigma axial, or we also called it as longitudinal stresses, that will be half of sigma hoop. So that comes out to be 125. So the correct answer is D. Question number 62. For a long cylinder column of uniform cross section, the ratio of the critical buckling load for the cases with both the hands hinged to the case with the both ends clamped. So this is like this. This is our column, and if I will hinge this column, both the ends hinged. So P, we know critical load is directly proportional to L square. So it is so the critical formula of the load is N into pi square EI minimum upon L square. So this is for both the ends hinged upon same with both the ends fixed. So this will come out to be 1 by 4. Here N will be 4 in this case. So it is answer will be 0.25. So you required, it means PE for both the ends hinged will be 1 by 4 times of both the ends fixed. So you required less buckling load for this condition. So the correct answer is A. If the length of a column is subjected to the compressive load is increased by 3 times. So L dash has been made 3L by 3 times its original length, then the critical buckling load. So we know this equation, PE is directly proportional to 1 upon L square. So if I will put new L, then it will become 1 by 9. So it will become 1 by 9 of the original value. A square bar of size 10 mm by 10 mm, this is our cross section, and length 1000 mm or 1 meter is subjected to an axial load of 200 tensile force. The bar is made of the mild steel having a modulus of elasticity of 200 gigapascal. Find the strain energy density stored in the bar under this state of loading. So strain energy per unit volume. Density means the volume stored in the bar. It is also called as modulus of resilience. So that is equal to sigma square upon 2E. So I can write sigma is equal to P by A whole square divided by 2E. So the total value come out to be Pi when given, area when given, E is given, Young's modulus of elasticity is 200 gigapascal. So the value will come out to be 1 upon 10 raised to power 5 Newton per mm upon mm cube. So I will convert it into this unit, joule. So this will come out to be 10 Newton meter upon meter cube. So the correct answer is A. You have to this one mm square. So I can write so I will multiply it with 10 raised to power 6 to convert it into Newton meter per meter cube. So Newton meter is joule upon meter cube. So the correct answer is 10 joule. A solid circular section question number 65 is designed to transmit a torque of 55 Newton meter if the allowable shear stress of the material is 280. Find the diameter of the shaft required to transmit the torque. So this is a twisting moment. This thing where I am applying torque. So the stress developed will be 16T upon pi d cube permissible shear stress. So pi they have given, take it as 22/7. So the shear stress in the material, it is given 280 is equal to 16 into, here it is given in mm, here it is given in meter. So I will write 55 into 10 raised to power 3, because 1 meter is equal to 1000 mm, upon 22 divided by 7 into d cube. So this will cut out 40, and this will become 10, this will become 4, and again it will become 100. So when you will find out approximately, d will come out to be 10 mm, because it is 2 divided by 11. So this is 5. So 5 into 2, 10, that is 1000. So d cube is equal to 1000. So d is equal to 10. So the correct answer is B. We will leave this question number 66. A metal alloy machine component is subjected to a fluctuating tensile stress from 100 to 200, that is tensile. The material has yield and endurance strength of this one. Find the factor of safety of the machine component. Now for this one, where the stresses are in fluctuating condition, we have been given, not mentioned how to use which formula. So but we have been given yield and endurance strength only. So we will use Soderberg equation, and here the stress is sigma 1 is equal to 100, sigma 2 is 200. So sigma average will be sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2. So that will come out to be 150. Similarly, sigma variable is equal to sigma max minus sigma minimum divided by 2. So that will come out to be 50. So Soderberg equation, it is say that 1 upon n is equal to sigma average or sigma mean divided by sigma yield plus sigma variable upon sigma endurance limit. So this have been given. Sigma yield is given 450 and this is given 200. So if you will find out, n will come out to be 12/7. So the next question, number 68. A driver of mass 100 kg is standing at the tip of a springboard of negligible mass. So the mass of the spring is negligible. The natural frequency of the springboard with the driver is 1.6. What is the static deflection at the tip of the springboard when the driver is standing at the tip? So I know omega n is equal to root of g by delta. This will come out to be with Rayleigh formula. So omega n will be 2 pi fn, because the air frequency is given in hertz. So this will come out to be 3.2 pi. So omega n is equal to 3.2 pi is equal to root of g by delta. So 3.2 pi whole square is equal to g by delta. So g we will take as 9.81. So delta will come out to be approximately, because 19.7 mm approximately. So the closest answer to this is 98.1 mm. So the next question is 69. Which one of the following is classified as a secondary bond in the materials? So hydrogen is a type of secondary bond. The number of atoms per unit FCC cells in the FCC crystal structure. So this is our FCC crystal structure. Here one atom will lie at the face on the three faces. So the number of atom will come out to be, so this is a cuboid. So this atom will be shared by 8 unit cells plus 1 by 2 into 6, because there are 6 faces. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. So the correct answer is, because in each face there is one atom, so this will be shared by, now one more cube will come here, so this atom will be shared by 2 cubes. So at face it is divided by 8, 2, and on the corner it is divided by 8. Question number 71. Which one of the following hardness test uses diamond cone type indenter? So its answer is Rockwell. In a two-component system, if the non-compositional variable is only temperature, then the number of degree of freedom in the case of a single phase field as per the Gibbs phase rule. So we know P plus F is equal to C plus 2. But this 2 is used when we have two components of variable, that is pressure and temperature. But now it is given only one component of variable. So P plus F is equal to C plus 1. Number of phase is 1 because it is a single phase. Degree of freedom F, it is a two component system, so 2 plus 1. So degree of freedom is 2. Question number 73. In iron carbon diagram, the percentage by weight of the carbon at the detected temperature is. So we know at this point it will something meet like this. So this is 0.77. This is called detected temperature. This line is called detected temperature and this is called detected composition. So the percentage of the carbon is 0.77 or 0.76. Question number 74. On the various microstructures that may be produced for a given steel alloy, which one of the among the following is the hardest form? Since we know martensite is formed with a quick cooling in water, so this phase is very hard and brittle also. So its answer is martensite. We will leave question number 75, but its correct answer is B, that is chrome vanadium, the aircraft engine, because it is a high resistance temperature material, chrome vanadium. So for valve, we will use chrome vanadium. Question number 76. If Kf is the fatigue stress concentration factor and Kt is the theoretical stress concentration factor, then the notch sensitivity Q is. So Q formula is Kf minus 1 upon Kt minus 1. So the correct answer is B. Question number 77 we will leave. Question number 78. In a vibration isolation system, if omega by omega n is less than root 2. So we know the formula of transmissibility graph. So this is transmissibility. So before root 2, that is omega by omega n, the transmissibility factor is always greater than 1, and if it is greater than 2, then it is always less than 1. So the correct answer is C. Question number 79. The natural frequency of a simple spotted beam of length L with the mass m at its center and flexural rigidity EI and negligible beam mass is. So we will use Rayleigh's formula, delta, because it is a simply spotted beam. So the diffraction at this point delta will be WL cube upon 48 EI. So omega n is equal to root of G by delta is equal to 2 pi f. So if you will put G by delta here, then the frequency will come out to be 1 upon 2 pi into 48 EI upon ml cube. So the correct answer is A. A machine component of natural frequency 20 radian per second is subjected to a base motion from the machine. So the natural frequency is given 20 from the base motion, which is harmonic in nature with an amplitude of 3 meter per second square at 10 radian per second. So omega is given 10 and amplitude is given 3. But this is our maximum amplitude. What is the peak amplitude of relative displacement of the components if the damping is negligible? So zeta is given 0. So amplitude formula I know, f naught divided by s upon root of 1 minus omega square divided by omega n square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. Since zeta is equal to 0, this will become 0, and this is given A max. Amplitude is given 3, that is small a I will write. This is equal to f naught divided by m. So f naught I can write it as this. F naught I can write it as f naught divided by s into m divided by s. So I can write f naught divided by m into, this is 1 upon omega n square upon this equation is 1 minus omega square divided by omega n square. So A max, that is given f naught by m is 3 divided by omega n. Omega n is given 20 whole square upon 1 minus 1. This is 10. This is 20 whole square. So this will become 3 by 400 upon 3 by 4. So that will come out to be 0.01 meter or 10 mm. So the correct answer is C. Thank you, friends. We have solved all the questions except some of the calculus and other derivative part question. If you have liked the video, please subscribe it for more videos.